Welcome back to the Bookends YouTube channel. I'm in the hot seat.
So this is really exciting. You all think you know James really well, but today I am going to interview James and let you get to know him a little better, especially for those who are new to the YouTube channel. So James is a literary agent here at Bookends. I will let him tell you a little bit later more about what he represents, but this year we are celebrating James's 10-year anniversary at Bookends.
No, how long have you been holding on to that for?
Desk is a mess.
Yeah, it's all over you.
So James started out as an intern and has um, actually risen through the ranks at Bookends. You are the first person to rise through the ranks and take as many steps as you have. And it took less than 10 years, but here we are 10 years later.
Yeah,
So,
it's crazy.
can you talk a little bit about the intern journey, the whole journey?
Yeah,
Some of the
so
journey, maybe not the whole journey, that's a lot.
you don't want a 10-year timeline?
Go for it.
Well, 10 years ago, the then assistant at Bookends was the only publishing person to respond to any application sent out. And that just goes to show you the state of applying to internships in publishing.
I don't think
But
it's changed.
no, no, but my first day was in May, and then the second day was at Book Expo, which was bananas in the best way.
Right.
And I spent that first summer interning here. And then, if you remember, I
I
had
do.
a college credit issue, and Jessica was like, let's screw the system, and signed off on me coming back to intern a second time so I can graduate on time. And then I all but begged for a job.
But first, that was very funny because you sent this email that was like, I'm short a credit and my advisor
One
suggested
credit.
maybe I could come back. And I was like, great idea.
Yeah. It was literally, I would have been short one credit. Even if I would have taken the class, the extra class in that spring, I would have been short one credit to graduate because I was misadvised. And Jessica was like, let's just sign off. And that's how 3 weeks at Bookends in the middle of January became 5 college credits. And they can't take my degree back now, so I could say that. Um,
But you also had a wild internship experience, actually, that I'm just thinking about this now because you got to go to Book Expo, which, by the way, no longer
Immediately.
exists, which was, it was sort of like the London Book Fair. It was the trade show of publishing that was held in New York back in the day, and all the publishers would show up and they would have their booths, and it was a way for them to connect with librarians and
I
bookstores
missed
and
it.
make
I'm not gonna lie.
oh, and make subrights deals, and we would just get bags and load up on ARCs.
That's what I missed.
Books. It was so fun.
It was
And
a full day workout.
we were introducing you to people, and we were like, take all the books, be greedy, take whatever you want.
Yeah,
And you really got like in there.
I did. I saw the addition of 2 new agents over my 2 internships. I was there for
Wait, who
several
else? Who?
well, Mo Farah had just joined and Tracy Marchini had just
Dang.
joined.
Wow, you really were here at the beginning. And then the other experience you had during your internship, because RWA, Romance Writers of America, at the time had probably one of the biggest conferences in all of
Yeah.
publishing. They happened to be in New York that year. And so you got to come to that and meet the romance authors and attend the Bookends event. You,
And which was also pretty cool was the whole Bookends rebrand. I was here that summer. You redid the website, new logo, everything was new.
that's
Social
great.
media was starting.
Yeah, you were really, really here during a time.
Yeah, it was quite an eventful summer. On top of all of the normals, we were changing like contract systems. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't know.
Redoing file organizations. I started at a very pivotal time for the agency, which was really cool.
And then, so then I guess it was that summer, my assistant Beth left. Is
Yes.
that the
No,
timeline?
no,
So
no. Here's
you
what,
came
okay.
back in January.
I came back in January. I graduated in May. I messaged you in May, all but begging for a job. Yeah, actually, so you said, I don't have anything right now. Let's stay in touch. I swear, like 3 weeks later, you're like, let's get on a call. And that's when you offered me a part-time job to be your direct assistant.
Because I am not going to let good people go.
Well, thank you for that, because truly changed my life. And then I worked that
Notice
job
people, he
part
did not say whether for the better, just changed your
for the better. And then for a year, I did that before Beth decided to go full-time agent. And then I took Beth's full-time job as assistant for the whole agency.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So you've seen it, done it.
Yeah. And then within my first 3 years, you had added like three or four more agents, and we had started the social media, this channel that we are currently yapping on. A lot
Bookends
of
Junior.
changes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
20th
so,
anniversary.
yeah, which
Yeah.
you were very interested. So to that point, not only did you start out as an intern and move into an assistant, but you have been integral in a lot of different aspects of Bookends and different sort of departments, from social media to helping manage our banking and our royalties and all of the things. And I mean, I think that there are probably very few people in publishing at all, let alone agents, who have had the vast experience you've had doing all these different roles. Can you talk a little bit about those roles and what it was like and all of that?
Yeah, actually, I do wear that a little bit like a badge of honor. I remember I was
Good.
rewriting my bio about a year ago, and an agent friend was like, talk about that, like that you have been part of all of these things. And I think that it has informed the type of agent I am. But
Mhm.
I've worked in every department with you, for you, everything. We've done foreign rights, film rights, audio rights, social media. I've done a ton of editorial work for you, for all of the other agents, administrative work. We've rebuilt systems and taken them apart and rebuilt them again. And truthfully, it is one of the things that I actually love most about my role here at Bookends is that I get to still be part of that, whether you like it or you don't. You still always listen to my ideas. And I love that business side of the agency and as a part of just being the client manager. Like I love the systems and reworking things. And I don't know, that's been one of the most rewarding parts about being here is watching the growth, but also getting to be a part of the growth in all of the different systems.
Let's delve into that a little bit. So you were the one who put the agency on Twitter when Twitter was Twitter,
Yeah, RIP.
Instagram.
Yeah. Well, you had made Instagram and then I took it over.
Okay. You were really the leader in redesigning the full website that we have now,
Yeah.
which took us a year.
Truly thought I was gonna get fired.
I thought you were going to quit.
That's funny. That was hard. That was hard.
That was really hard. Oh, I don't know that I'll ever do it again. It might someday be the most dated website in publishing.
No, we'll do it again because I already have ideas.
Oh
So,
no. Um, then you were integral in the actual banking process, which
yes, which
is,
is still part of my job now and my favorite part of my job. Well,
and,
one of.
and for those who don't know, sort of talk a little bit about, because I don't think everybody who watches us knows how sort of the banking, how an agency might work in that way. And I think it
Yeah.
would be really interesting for you to talk about what that entails and the job you do.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe we should do also another separate video on this too. But
We'll have Maggie on.
yeah, agencies are basically flow through companies. The money comes to us and we pass it through to our agents, we pass it through to our clients. But what publishers provide us, they give us a statement for your earnings, they give us a remittance of what they pay us, and they give us the actual money. So my job at Bookends, since I first took it, was to make sure all three of those things reconcile and then pass them on to our accountant with a breakdown of who to pay, when and where and how. It's a big job, especially as the agency continues to grow and we sell more and more books, which is great, but it creates more work on the back end, which is we happy work. We always want to pay people. I think that's the whole point. But my job has been to make sure your statements look good, to make sure the money that the publisher pays us matches what's on your statement, and then make sure that you're getting it in a timely fashion alongside our accounting team.
Yeah, and that is another department that has grown and shifted and constantly, you've been integral also in that, not just social media, to make the constant changes to keep up with the growth that BookEnds is having.
Yeah, and also, I mean, thank you to you. It has been what has helped me be a full-time agent in general, because it's that additional income that agents often need,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
And it is true. I think that being an agent, work on commission, which is
Yeah,
tough, and that's something.
particularly at the start.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Let's switch over from bookends to a little
yeah.
bit like you taking that step and how that went for you.
I did not have a choice. Did not, as with a lot of things at Bookends, I am often given the swiftest kick in the ass and told that there are some things that I have to now start doing. And being an agent was indeed one of them.
It was
Um, I can literally still remember the day I was sitting in the office, you refilled your water, you came out and you said, "You should open a query manager." And I said, "No, I shouldn't actually." And you're like, "You're gonna open a query manager." I don't even think it was by the end of the day that I had opened a query manager
we
and
move
started
fast
taking
here.
things
When
on.
we make decisions, we move fast.
When Jessica makes decisions, I have to move fast.
That too.
Yeah, and that is historically the dynamic. I just want everybody to know. But yeah, that's how it worked. And
But at the time, let me backtrack a little. At the time, you were still working as an assistant. You were
yeah,
my assistant, but you were also doing not just for me, but for bookends. You were working still in the banking, the social media,
yeah,
working as my assistant, and now starting to open your query manager and begin to take on clients.
yeah. In hindsight, it was truly the best timing,
It
which
was.
you knew,
I
but
know.
I didn't care that you knew. I like truly believed you were wrong, but you were right, which also is our dynamic.
Well, but the thing is it takes a long time to build a list. And from my perspective, I knew you wanted to be an agent. I wanted you to be an agent, and I wanted you to be able to make that transition from assistant to agent when you were ready. And by waiting to my mind,
That's
by wait,
ironic. We'll get there.
we'll get there. By waiting too long to start opening that list, you were going to get frustrated as an assistant, and I didn't need to lose you in that way.
Well, and you were right. I did eventually get frustrated as an assistant, but that's because my list built, I think, faster than I don't know if you expected it to build that fast, but my list built faster than I had expected it to.
It did build fast in
It
good
did.
ways, all good ways. I
All
mean,
great ways.
you
Yeah.
really
Very,
jumped in, which shows that you were ready to do it.
yeah, which again, dislike. But and then there came the point, I think it was in COVID, right? Like we had shifted my
Yeah.
role to remote for obvious reasons. And then we had again dismantled and changed every system we had
Yeah, we did.
because it was becoming virtual.
Yeah. And then, you made the biggest jump. I think this is the biggest jump
Again, less a jump, more a push.
where it was time for you to stop being an assistant and start becoming a full-time agent.
Again, in hindsight, a really good decision. But in the moment, I was not your friend.
Folks, he fought me so hard. He was so
So
mad.
bad.
So mad.
Okay, but also imagine someone saying, "Hey, actually, no more salary. Go
No
do
more
this full
salary.
time." And my hands were sweating on the call, and you were like, "It's gonna be fine." It is fine, but in the moment, it was Armageddon.
Yeah, well, we talk a lot about you have to do scary things. To do big things, you have to
Yeah,
do scary things. So, um, but now you've been a full-time agent for, has it been 4 years?
yeah.
That's wild.
My
Well,
fourth year.
congratulations. Should I get another popper out?
No, that's okay. You're gonna have to clean all that up.
That stresses you out,
It
doesn't it?
really does. Yeah, I was glad that you got it out of your hair. So,
There's one stuck on my computer screen that just kind of gives me joy to look at.
you know,
Um, So you've had a journey in agenting as well because you started out in picture books and that has shifted and actually you're doing some big shifting now. So do you want to talk about what you're acquiring and how
yeah.
that's
Well, the story I always tell editors too, especially lately, I've been meeting with a lot more editors on the adult side of things. When you look behind me, it's picture books and all of that. And it's kind of like, don't let that fool you because I do more than that. But also, the story I tell is when I was a full-time assistant, it was a lot easier for me to read 4 pages than 400. And then the more I worked on picture books, the more I just developed a love for them. And I frankly think I'm good at them.
Very good at
And
them.
that's why it just kept taking on a life of its own, from picture book authors to author illustrators to illustrators in general. And then, like any agent will at some point, I hit a point where I could not keep growing in that particular arena. And my goal for the past year and this coming year is to do the same on the adult side, which if anybody follows me on Instagram, I'm a huge reader, like of everything. And I read predominantly adult books. So I want a list that kind of better reflects what I read and
Mhm.
balances the kid lit a little bit more. So that has been my goal, which is a big shift. And we've talked about it on the channel before. It is a full body effort to remake your list in some way.
But I want to clarify. So you are still representing the clients you have in the
Oh,
picture
absolutely.
field, and you still have a very active list of picture books and authors and illustrators.
Absolutely. Yeah, I still have a very active Kidlit list. They're not going anywhere, but I do also want to build on the other side of things. So it's a
Okay.
balance act.
Viewers want to know, what are you looking for? What
Yeah,
what is on your wish list?
okay. On the adult side of things, I really want to see more fantasy, spec fic, mystery, suspense, thriller. I love genre, but I love books that are a little upmarket and like kind of transcend genre a little bit, genre blend, anything of that nature.
Any
Um,
comps that you can come up with? I'm putting you on the spot because I
No,
hate
no, I've
comps.
got this rehearsed. Comps on like the mystery suspense side, anybody like Ton of French, Attica Locke. I love The God of the Woods recently. That's on like the more upmarket side, but I'm also a huge fan of like the very genre thriller novels. Listen for the Lie was one that I loved. House of Glass, I loved that recently. I like things that I can pick up and just I need to finish. Like I want page turners, plot focused, fast paced. On the fantasy side, I'm still pretty open, which is exciting. I love things that have accessible world building, but also world building that feels fresh and different. I do like things with a political lean to it, things where there's like a lot of things, moving parts, and a lot of characters. I love that. Anything N.K. Jemisin comped, sign me up. Tasha Suri, S.A. Chakraborty, RF Kuang is one of my favorites. So I'm still pretty open, but and figuring out that taste and what I want to be working on. But yeah, and on my Instagram and on the Bookends website, a much more detailed MSWL, but I'm open. So I would say try me rather than not.
Yeah, I love that. And then I think maybe my last key question, and I hope I'm not putting you on the spot with this, but I think my personal interests and loves definitely help inform the books I want to take on my wish list. So you've sort of done the genres and the comps, but are there any specific topics or things that when you see in a query letter, they ought to like even weird things like, talking dogs, that would be me. Like there are things like that that I'm like, ooh, it automatically grabs me.
This is gonna make me sound like a little sick. Missing kids.
Yep.
Like I
Missing
love
kids
a
are
good
always
missing
good.
kid trope. It just
I
will
agree.
always grab me. Cold cases. I do really love. I've not worked a lot on this space in books, but I love things that are political, social activists. Like I do love things with that sort of bent, and I think I see that more in fantasy, and where I want to see that more is in fantasy because I don't want to be further immersed in our real
Yeah.
life politics. But
Yeah.
things like that will always grab me. Food, cooking related. I would love like a cool cooking magic kind of book. I always think of like Encanto with the healing arepas. Like I would love something fun like that.
Anybody who watches this channel must know how much we love food.
Yeah, that's all we talk about pretty much. Also,
Anything else I forgot to ask?
no, that was very thorough. That
This
was
was awesome. I will have my popper
time.
ready for the next 10 years.
Another 10 years.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Excellent.
Not going
Excellent.
anywhere.
Okay, everybody, check out James's Instagram. You know him here on YouTube. And then obviously on the website, we're going to post this video on the website as well. Share it with your friends and remind people to send him all the books because we love
Please.
all the books.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you back here next time.
Bye.